What's up, y'all? Cloudchord here. I got a fun and exciting one today. Khruangbin amps for Live 11 and beyond. So, quick PSA, I just dropped a new EP called Daybreak, which has a lot of these guitar sounds. I kind of got this idea of the Khruangbin amps while I was making that EP. So you can check out the EP. There's a video above, and also if you're like in Spotify or Apple or Tidal Cat, Bandcamp too, there's a link in the description. So this is a fun one. I'm going to do all playing today, and just let's cruise through these presets and just talk about the benefits of each one of them and what's going on here. So first one, start here. That's just a nice clean setting in this style. If I just go to my bridge pickup, that's nice, right? Just a clean Ableton amp, right? Second one, break it up. A little bit of low cut, a little more reverb, a little bit of delay, a little bit of glue. That was the tone that I had in the intro. So that one's nice. If you roll back your volume, it'll get a little bit cleaner. But if you hit it, it'll break up even more if you hit it hard. Next one, we got Dub It Out. Khruangbin has been releasing a lot of live material, and I've noticed that Mark, their guitarist, does a lot of like dub out stuff for the end of sections where they just kind of jam out. So this next one, Dub It Out, is inspired by that. Let's check it out. Let's do it with my Khruangbin remix here. Pretty rad. Let's look at what's going on in that one. So if you have my Desert Surf amps, this kind of is downstream from that, but with some new and exciting things. So the thing that's making the dub out cool, I modified the dub echo setting. It's a device rack in your user library, and I mapped the echo feedback to dub feedback, and then the dry wet to the rack dry wet. So, and it's basically an instance of echo and saturator and auto pan here. And the cool thing is there's a dry and wet channel, and that allows it to not totally take over the mix and just sit just right. So that's pretty cool. Next one, Tremolo Bite. You can turn up your tremolo amount. As with most of my amps, that is created from this auto pan down here later in the chain. If you want to get more jagged tremolo, you can change it to like a triangle shape. It's a little sharper. My default here is the sine wave because I'm a gentle guy. Barry guitar, check this one out. You can even do chords. They sound pretty good. And what is going on there? That is an instance later on down the signal chain after the amp of shifter, and it's just down an octave. But here's the trick. It's only on like 50% dry wet. So it doesn't totally take over. The spin knob here really kind of widens it and gives it more depth. I guess I should say more width. If I turn that off, it's kind of right more down the front. It gives it way more life, the spin. So that's pretty cool. So that's the baritone guitar. On my new EP, there's a whole bunch of baritone guitar, and that's something that you see in a lot of like spaghetti western tracks is that low oomph. Check out this one, Slap Tickle. What makes this one special? So this is just a slapback delay, which, quick tip, here's how you make a slapback delay. You go to just a standard delay, make it on the fastest delay you can, and just a little bit of feedback. I have it on longer feedback because I want it to last, but just the fastest one you can. And if that's not fast enough, turn off sync and make it between so it needs to be over 100 milliseconds. Dark delay. Kind of self-explanatory. In the EQ, the high is rolled off. That's the high cut. And then we just got some regular delay here. So Khruangbin doesn't do too much full rock and lead stuff, but you do find that in some spaghetti western and desert music. So check this one out. So one of the tricks here is on the pedal knob, I turned on the sub. Here's it without. Now on. It's a lot more beef. It's like you just turned up the bass on your amp. So that's pretty cool. And then big lead octave, that is just some of the shifter on that. Chopped. Okay, so here's a cool one. I was talking earlier about the tremolo. If we make the tremolo really fast, this is on 30-second notes, it gets a chopped sound. That's cool. So that's the dub echo audio effect rack combined with the auto pan. And then, of course, every tutorial I give it to you, the AM radio. But here's the cool thing, you can combine this with any of these. How about AM radio with dub feedback? Real quick, let's walk through this chain. As always, I have a tuner. And then we got the pedal, which is set to fuzz. So that is mapped to gain. So the pedal's mapped to gain. Then we have EQ8, and those are just mapped to low cut, you can see, and then high cut. After that, we have dub echo that I mentioned. So you can see the dub amount moves, the dry wet, and then the FB is the feedback. After that, we have the amp. And really all this changing there is the amp type. That's mapped to the amp type macro, and that can go through all of them to get a different amp sound. Baritone is mapped to the shifter. That's just the dry wet. You could also mess with this tuning. You want a 12-string sound? Put it up plus 12. How does that sound? After that, we got a cabinet, 2x12. After that, we got a saturator and warm tube, which are in all my amps, just to kind of give it a little bit more organic life. Then the auto pan, which is mapped to the tremolo, as I mentioned earlier. See the amount, turns up the amount, and then the speed changes the rate. Then we have our delay, which is the delay time. You can see that is moving right there. The amount is the dry wet. And then the feedback is right here. Glue compressor matched to our glue. So just a classic trick of some makeup gain here. Upward compression, as it were. This makes it a bit louder most of the time. And last but not least, we have our chain volume here. If you open up the chain, that's right there. And some other amps have also mapped this final volume to the limiter there. But always end your signal chain with a limiter. so you can practice safe sound design, kids. That's it for today with the Khruangbin amps. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. I am Cloudchord for Open Channels. Cheers!